Hello, good evening and welcome to Business with me, Sandra Esenam Apeno. Let's begin with the pension scheme. And the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has adjusted the earnings of contributors by 11% across board for all beneficiaries on the pension scheme. This, however, translates into an 11% for high earners and about 15% for low earners. This review follows commitments by the board of SNIT to ensure the welfare of contributors.
Average salary growth of active contributors, annual average change in the consumer price index and financial implication on the fund were factors that led to the adjustment. The rate is now pegged at 11% with 9% as fixed rate and 2% being redistributed as a flat amount of 15.89 Ghana cedis to benefit those earning lower pensions. Director General of the SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tinkrang, said the new minimum monthly pension rate, which is 300 Ghana cedis, is more than the current minimum wage of the country.
The increment is that the overall indexation amount is 11%, meaning whatever we paid last year in total, we take 11% of that and we're going to add it to what we paid last year, right? And so, and that overall indexation of 11% is then redistributed. We are redistributing it in such a way that everybody gets a 9% increment across board, and then the other 2% we translate that into cedis, and I think that works out to be about 15 cedis, 89 pesos, and everybody gets that too.
Meanwhile, the extra cost to be incurred by the trust for existing pensioners in 2019 is 212 million Ghana cedis. Dr. Tinkrang explains the rationale behind the adjustment.
The way our system works, the pension that you get is determined by what your best 3 years of salary was. And so what happens then is that, in effect, you get what you put in. Right? And so people who are very high earners, they get high pensions, and people who are low earners get low pensions. You know, salaries in general in Ghana are pretty low. So what you find out is that a lot of our pensioners are low earning. And so what we try to do is to, within the law, do a redistribution so that the our earning pensioners see a much more of a better uplift in their pensions than the high earners. But we have to do it in such a way that everybody's purchasing power is maintained.
Two subsidiaries of the trust, Ghana Agro Foods Company Limited and Gulf Consolidated Limited, have also presented a shareholding advance and a dividend respectively to the management of SNIT. Ebenezer Sabate's report for Joy Business.
So let's break it down for you to understand it better. If you were earning something around 300 cedis, how much will you be earning now? And if you go on the board, you see that the rate of increment is 11%, with 9% as fixed rate and 2% being redistributed as a flat amount of 15 Ghana cedis, 89 pesos, to benefit those earning lower pensions. And so that's what is the thing now. And then this translates to a new minimum monthly pension earning of 300 Ghana cedis. The increments takes effect from January 2019. Two other stories now. The management of the Ghana Railway Company Limited says its intended free ride on the Accra-Tema rail line scheduled for January 18 and 19 has been suspended for the next 2 weeks. A statement by the company indicated that the decision is as a result of activities of encroachers along the Circle, Aveno and Achimota rail lines. The observation came after management of the Ghana Railway Company Limited, together with the Minister of Railways and Development, as well as the Information Minister, inspected the rail line on Friday, January 4. During the visit, it was clear that encroachers had ostensibly returned to the line when the Ghana Railway Company and its workers went on the Christmas break. While dealing with encroachment as to make the line safe, management of the Ghana Railway Company Limited said it has taken insurance cover for all passengers who patronize their trains, and also putting in place mechanisms to ensure maximum passenger safety and comfort. Management added that they regret the inconvenience this might have caused a lot. Speaking to Joy Business later on how the ministry can permanently solve the situation, Sector Minister Joe Gatti said the ministry is considering a policy proposal to secure funding to fence the country's railway lines. At noon today, the Consolidated Bank opened its doors to customers of different heritage and premium banks. This follows the revocation of the respective banking licenses for each of the banks. Joy Businesses, Charles Aite and Alberta BCU scouted the branches of these different banks in our reports.
We could see the office of Heritage Bank, and we have been there. We have engaged with some of the workers there, and it's just work as usual, just that we just don't have so many customers in there. It even gives us more information about their clientele base. But I have been joined by my colleague Alberta BC. She's also been visiting some of the branches of both Heritage and Premium Banks, and she's here to share with me some information that she gathered from these branches. Alberta, so from both branches, Heritage and Premium Banks, what stood out for you based on the interactions that you had with either workers or even customers?
Okay, I realized that most of the branches are virtually empty. You see one or two people there, which I can't even tell if they are clients or they are normal people there. So what I realized is their place is virtually empty. And with the Nima branch of Heritage Bank, their ATM is not working. I asked and the guy told me that it's not working. Right. So we went to Rage and their ATM, that's Rage's Premium Bank, it's also not working.
Right. Currently standing just a few meters away from the office of Heritage Bank. I believe you have been there, and what have you been gathering there as well?
From what I've been gathering there, it means that everything is going on smoothly, even though people are not coming in as they used to be, but the ATM is working and you can make withdrawals and deposits as well.
But Alberta, you do have a sheet of paper. She has a sheet of paper. I think this one is the cash withdrawal slip of Heritage Bank. Help me understand. You know, Heritage Bank is now a defunct bank, but for you to have the cash withdrawal slip of Heritage Bank, still having Heritage Bank on it, does it give the impression that things could change moving forward, having CBG on it moving forward?
Exactly. Moving forward, customers are not going to see this, whether being Heritage Bank or Premium Bank. Moving forward, it's going to be CBG, that's the Consolidated Bank Ghana. So your withdrawal slip or your deposit slip is not going to be Heritage or Premium Bank.
So that's going to be for both customers of Premium and Heritage.
So that's what Charles Aite and Alberta BCU. Two other stories now. Imagine a farmer producing cassava 5 times bigger than the average size and improving yield by over 400%. Well, this has been made possible by the Crop Research Institute with the introduction of Banchi Hema variety, a high-yielding and disease-resistant variety. With Ghana being the 6th largest producer worldwide, the innovation can improve its ranking. Karen Dodo visited the Crop Research Institute in Kumasi and has a full story.
Although popular as a local staple food, the country is yet to exploit the full potential of the crop for industrial purposes and export. Though available, cassava improvements in varieties have virtually been non-existent. This is where the Crop Research Institute comes in. As one of the 13 institutes under the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the Crop Research Institute has a broad research mandate covering food and industrial crops, including cereals, legumes, roots and tubers, including cassava. With research fields such as these, the Institute multiplies the improved varieties they produce for farmers.
This year we had requests from about 3 farmers who are into the one district, one factory.
Research fellow in charge of the cassava breeding program, Professor Joe Menu, explains that although Ghana is one of the largest producers in the world, the local variety commonly grown has low yields, therefore leaving room for more.
And you know, in Ghana, most of us eat fufu 3 times a day. And so we have to improve upon our local varieties. And our local varieties, we know they are good for fufu, but the yields are very low because of the African cassava mosaic. So what we normally do is we collect these germplasm from different parts of the country, bring them to crop research here, and then we marry them with our improved varieties. Okay. We do crosses, we call hybridization, and then we introduce the good attributes that are in the materials to the local ones. One, to improve upon them, 2, to increase the yields, and then 3, to make them resistant to the African cassava mosaic.
All right, so catch the full story on the AM show tomorrow at 7 a.m. Wednesday tomorrow, And that's all for Business with me, Sandra Esinamapene. For more news, you log on to our website by joeonline.com/business. Thanks so much for watching.